Hi guys, I've made this little card today with this fun sponging background, and I thought this would be a good one to show you on video because it looks, I think, maybe complex, but it is very easy and looks so nice and soft. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and then of course you can always watch the replay later. I was hiding my cardstock from me. So I'm going to start with a piece of white cardstock. And I'm going to use 3 inks to sponge the background. And they are powder pink, soft seafoam, and gray granite. And let me see, I got my sponges all laid out. I usually start with the lightest color when I sponge, and on this one I focused on the powder pink. So let me just start with that. And I'm simply going to rub the inks in the cardstock in a circular motion. Now mind you, this one might turn out completely different than the one that I had made. So, you know, I'm trying to copy it a little bit to give it somewhat of the same look, but like always, there's no guarantee. So I'm going to stop with that one. The next one is the soft seafoam, and we can always go back and add more if we don't, you know, have enough coverage, but you can never take it away. So I'm going to dab that off a little bit, and I'm going to just sponge some green in between. And I also go over the pink a little bit, and I, you know, kind of gives it a muddled look. I definitely don't want any harsh edges in there, so I'm just rubbing. And maybe over here a little bit in between there. And then I'm going to go for the gray granite. And sometimes when you have a really fresh ink pad and you worry that you get too much ink, just dab it off a little bit so you don't get too much on there. Go over the pink a little bit over here to tone it down. And going around the edges a little bit to give it a darker surrounding. So I think I'm happy with how this turned out. Let me close this, the ink pads, and then I'm just going to stamp over it. So I'm going to reverse it on how I did my card. I did the layout of the plants first, and then I stamped my greeting over it. But I want to replicate kind of what I have here, so I'm going to stamp my greeting first. And it's the Incredible Like You stamp set. I already mounted my stamp into the Stamparatus. And let me see. I think I might like it like this. And then we're gonna scoot it over a little bit so you can see. I'm just using my ink pad right now underneath. I normally use a clear case, but don't have one handy right now. Let me make this straight again. I just moved it. Let me see that I'm in the right place. Hi Diane, I'm glad you're jumping in and look what I'm doing. Matter of fact, I'm actually using the stamp set that we're going to use at Stamp-A-Stack Friday morning. It's a different card, but it just shows another idea on what to do with the stamp set, which Nancy owns. So I'm going to stamp that greeting 3 times at least because I want that to really stand out. And that's the nice thing when you're using the Stamparatus, you can do that. in there. That's good. Now it's kind of moist, so I'm making sure that I don't brush over it. Normally I would use my heat gun and set that a little bit, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to skip and I'm just going to stamp the other items, which I have on a little tray next to me. So I'm going to pull my first one up, and I'm using the Mossy Meadow ink. And by the way, the floral stamp set that I'm using is the First Frost. I'm going to post it on the page and on the group, and of course on the blog, and so we will have a supply list there, and you can just look up the items in there. I'm gonna put that one there, one in from the side a little bit, like that. And then I have something like this, I think, and something there, and maybe like that. I'm going to stop with that one so I don't use too much of it. And then I'm using soft suede with this lovely image. I'll go right in the middle here. I'll put some there, a little bit here, and there, and in here. And then my last image is this one. I kind of think it's like a thistle. So unless somebody tells me otherwise, that's what I'm going to refer to it as, a thistle. I'm going to put one here. And I think, like I always do that, my second one now is much fuller than my first one. But that's okay. You know, I'm going to put another one there. I've got two here, put this one there. And that's it. So this is the background, and it was done very fast. You watched it. Hey Pam, I'm glad you're watching. So the background is done, and one more thing I want to show you really quick on this card. Let me come up a little bit. Do you see that gorgeous background here? The texture? Oh yeah, that is a new embossing folder. That's another offering from our second release of the Celebration book. I'm gonna hold it up so you can see it, hopefully. Anyway, this is one that you can earn with a $50 order. So what I'm gonna do is bring my white paper in, and I'm gonna reach for my spray bottle. I'll make some room first so I don't get things messy. When I spritz, I always do that over my trusty color box here. It's a paper pumpkin box that I've used for brusher and all. So I'm going to use some rubbing alcohol. That's just a bigger bottle that I repurposed. Normally we use the little spritzer bottles. That's my jumbo bottle that I use in class. I'm just spritzing it with rubbing alcohol because the embossing folder is one of those really thick ones. So it's a dynamic folder. That means it's very detailed, and it could crack your cardstock if you don't spritz it with either water or rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol dries a little bit quicker than water, so that's what I prefer. Got it in here, and let me see if I can get my machine up. It's maybe a little bit close for you guys, but we'll try. I've opened it to tap 1, or you would do it without the adapter on the new platforms. Put your folder in with the crease to the handle, and then just one clear plate over it because the folder is as thick as one clear plate already. And we're going to send it through. And then look at how detailed. This is just gorgeous. All right, while this is drying just a little bit, I'm going to get my adhesive and just throw this little card together. This should be dry by now. I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of this layer. And put this on like so. Now I've already got a white card base that I scored. This is still a little damp, so I am going to use my heat gun first so I can glue it to the card. You see how detailed the back is even. I'm putting this right on my white card base, just a 1/4 inch smaller all the way around. And then I'm going to bring my stamped piece on here. I'm going to slide that down like so. And then we're going to put a butterfly on there, which is part of the Butterfly Elements, which is also an offering from the Celebration catalog. Just gonna pop it out. You get so many with this little kit. I'm going to use mini glue dots on the back, and I'm just going to put this butterfly right there. So there is this card. It's very quick, but it looks there's a lot. A lot was done, and it wasn't. It's really easy to do. I hope you guys give it a try, do some sponging, and have fun. Get inky. Bye, you guys. Thanks for watching.